Hi there, my name is Ming Zhao, and today I would like to talk about social penetration theory. So, it was Erwin Altman and Dalmas Taylor who first came up with the idea of social penetration theory in 1973. They are both psychologists, and they created the theory in order to understand relationship development between individuals. According to Altman and Taylor, social penetration theory has adopted a social unit perspective whereby one attempts to understand patterns, profiles, and combinations of behaviors so that people can develop interpersonal relationships based on a general rule. And there are four main assumptions. The first one is relationship development moves from superficial layers to intimate ones. The second one is interpersonal relationships develop in a generally systematic and predictable manner. The third one is relational development could move backward, resulting in deep penetration and dissolution. And last but not least, self-disclosure is the key to facilitate relationship development. And I will divide the theory into four parts. The first one is disclosure reciprocity. The second one is the onion metaphor. The third one is deep penetration. And the last one is evaluate relational outcomes. According to Sultan and Chaudhry, disclosure reciprocity is a process in which when one person reveals personal information of a certain intimacy level, the other person will in turn disclose information of the same level. So it basically means if you tell me a secret, I will tell you one back, and our relationship will be closer. The second part is the onion metaphor. Altman and Taylor first describe the process of self-disclosure as peeling back the layers of an onion, which possesses both breadth and depth. Breadth refers to the various facets of a person's life, such as work, family, community, and hobbies. Depth pertains to the details concerning each of these areas. The outer layers of the onion represent superficial information about a person, such as physical appearance and speech. The deeper layers represent more intimate information, such as the person's thoughts, feelings, and relationships with others. With a rewarding exchange, movement should progress along breadth and depth dimensions with deeper and more extensive interpersonal exchanges as the interactions move from strangership to acquaintance to friendship and beyond. Deep penetration is a gradual process of layer by layer withdrawal, and it causes relationship and intimacy level to move backward and fade away. According to Altman and Taylor, interpersonal exchange should proceed backwards from more to less intimate areas, should decrease in breadth or volume, and, as a result, the total cumulative wedge of exchange should shrink. And when we disclose to others, we will evaluate relational outcomes. If the projected benefits outweigh the costs, people will disclose more to deepen intimacy. And there are two concepts. One is the comparison level, and another is the comparison level of alternatives. The comparison level is the threshold above which an interpersonal outcome seems attractive. So it is a standard for relational satisfaction. The comparison level of alternatives is the best outcome available in other relationships, so it is a standard for relational stability. For example, if a woman is unsatisfied with her current husband, but she cannot make a living without him, she is less likely to divorce. Her relationship is very unsatisfying because her outcomes are far below her comparison level, but also quite stable because her outcomes are above her comparison level of alternatives. And there are two limitations of social penetration theory. One is that it is simplistic to equate self-disclosure with relational closeness. The other one is that self-disclosure may lead to intimacy, but it may simply be designed as self-expression or tension release. According to Petronio, our privacy boundaries are personally created, often shifting and frequently permeable. And here are the three application articles that I found. The first one is called Lesbian Friendships, an exploration of lesbian social support networks. The goal of the article is to provide suggestions for counselors working with their lesbian clients based on existing research and qualitative findings. How they used the theory. Social penetration theory is the most widely researched theory developed to explain the formation and deepening of relationships. It explains how to build trust between lesbian friendship and how it possibly eventually turns into love. It also explains lesbian social networks, differences between straight group and lesbian group because of different layers of self-disclosure. The results are counselors will benefit from understanding and being prepared to help their lesbian clients maintain and enhance their friendship networks, because friendship networks are important to lesbian community. The second article is called How Can Employees Engage Customers? Application of Social Penetration Theory to the Full-Service Restaurant Industry by Gender. The goal is to understand how to engage customers socially in the full-service restaurant industry, how they use the theory. Based on social penetration theory, server disclosure and customer disclosure influence trust, which in turn positively affects commitment and loyalty. The results are based on the data analysis results. Server disclosure was found to be a key predictor of customer disclosure. In addition, server disclosure and customer disclosure aid in the creation of trust and can thus help to enhance commitment and loyalty. The third article is called Differences in Engaging in Sexual Disclosure Between Real Life and Cyberspace Among Adolescents. Social Penetration Model Revisited. The goal is to explore differences in adolescents' sexual self-disclosure occurring in real life and cyberspace, and how they use the theory. The social penetration model suggests that an individual's level of sexual disclosure should be in accordance with relationship intimacy in real life. The results are, in real life, both male and female adolescents showed a parallel relationship between willingness to engage in sexual disclosure and relationship intimacy. But in cyberspace, male adolescents exhibited a greater willingness to communicate, regardless of degree of relationship intimacy, whereas females revealed a U-shaped trend regarding the effect of relationship intimacy on willingness to communicate. The activity that I designed is to find a classmate that you've never talked to in the classroom and start a 20-minute free conversation. After the conversation, please answer the following questions. What did you talk about at the beginning of this conversation? Does it differ from your further topics? If so, how? What did you do to keep the conversation going? Did you avoid talking about something? Did you lead to a new topic? Have you found some common features between you two? If so, how did these affect your conversation? If not, how did you keep on the conversation? Have you changed your mind towards the person that you talked to? What's the person like? Did your conversations reflect anything from social penetration theory? If so, how? I designed this activity because it's the most basic and common scenario that people would apply social penetration theory. Both the ways people talk to and listen to affect their social relationship. When two individuals who never have talked with each other start to talk, they are applying the onion application. There will be self-disclosure, disclosure, reciprocity, and so forth. It will be interesting and inspiring when people rethink these conversations. And here are 5 potential exam questions that I designed. They are all true or false questions. The first one is self-disclosure in relationships is unnecessary, especially in the early stages of relationship. The answer is false, because it is necessary if we want to improve a relationship. Also, it should be reciprocal in the early stages of relationship. The second one is, according to social penetration theory, the deeper layer of self in the onion metaphor is more accessible than superficial one. The answer is false, because self-disclosure starts from the superficial layer. The deeper the layer is, the harder it is accessible. The third one is, according to social penetration theory, if a woman is unsatisfied with her current husband, but she cannot make a living without him, she is less likely to divorce. The answer is true, because her relationship is very unsatisfying because her outcomes are far below her comparison level, but also quite stable because her outcomes are above her comparison level of alternatives. The fourth one is, a limitation about social penetration theory is that it's simplistic to equate self-disclosure with relational closeness. The answer is true. Disclosure can lead to intimacy, but a person may reveal private information merely to express oneself, release tension, or gain relational control. And the last one is, according to social penetration theory, if two individuals in a relationship between to step from more to less intimate areas, deep penetration will happen. This is true because deep penetration happens when people are less close than before. The reason why these potential questions were chosen is that they cover the basic concepts of social penetration theory. They cover the 4 parts of social penetration theory in my presentation, as well as limitations of the theory. In addition, question 4 provides an application of evaluating relational outcomes under social penetration theory, so that audience can learn to apply the theory in the real life. And here are the references. Thanks for watching.